All right. All right. Hi everyone. And welcome back to another live stream. I know that probably many of you guys are not gonna watch this video live, but I wanted to just do it very quickly. Rather than doing a video and uploading it, I wanted to do it live, so in case I may receive some reactions or some comments as I'm explaining what I'm doing here with this live, and hopefully I can share with you some things. So unfortunately, I have had some problems, some physical problems in my training. So that's why I have been like a couple of weeks, almost months, since I've done like a serious training, both in my arms, both in my shoulders. Kind of, I've still tried to keep in shape, and as you guys know, I'm a physical therapist. That means that I know how to like try to rehabilitate myself or try to get better in case I have some pain or some issues. But yeah, it's been, I'm getting older, so sometimes I don't realize that maybe I'm doing some things with too much effort, or I'm not, taking care enough of my body, like respecting some limits of my body. So sometimes I'm pushing too much, and yeah, that ends up like in being a toll. So yeah, thankfully I've been able to work through some of the issues, and now I'm better, and I just wanted to start doing some content as well on the channel about physical training, about physical therapy, in case you guys might have some questions or anything to ask me about, and then just showing some workouts. And so today I wanted to show you, as the title says, just some push-ups. I'm gonna be going back to the basics, starting again, not really pushing that hard, but going slowly and steady, and getting back into shape. And let's see if I can get back to the shape that I had like a couple years ago, or if I need to adjust to maybe something else. The important thing is having fun as you're working out. I have been working out a lot, like my legs, abs, like I've done other things, postural things mostly, but not really like push-ups or pull-ups or dips. Those things I've done a little bit less of. But yeah, I wanted to still keep doing them. Maybe adjusting how I do them, maybe taking more rest, maybe changing. But I still wanted to work out, and I think that science explains that working out, doing a physical activity, whatever it might be, it's always beneficial, and it's always good for your overall health. So yeah, let's go back to some basics. Push-ups is one of those exercises that you first do, or you first try to do, because of the fact that just so standard. You just need gravity, your hands, and then that's it. As I've explained in many other videos, doing push-ups correctly, it's very important. Many people do them not correctly, and therefore they might have problems in the long term with the shoulders, with the chest, with the arms. So yeah, I want to try to, as always, explain what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm going to be using this in case you guys might not know what these are. These are just very simple, I don't really know how to call them, they're just something to put your hands, and that you can keep a more neutral position on the wrist. So you don't have to have this position, on the ground. That strains a lot your wrists, that in case you might have some issues, I have in my wrists, it's painful, and I don't really like having pain or limiting my exercises because of pain, and that's why I'm using these. These are super useful. They're very low, so it allows you to keep a neutral grip. At the same time, it doesn't like give you that much height, so it starts to like change maybe the plane in which you're doing push-ups. So they're perfect. And yeah, you can just change also the position of the arms, of your forearms. So you can do them a little bit more wide, close, rotating as well, like with the hands like this, like this, like this. So you can just change. And yeah, I just wanted to do some push-ups here live. I'm gonna be doing not really that many total, because of the fact that it's gonna be just starting to do them again consistently, but with a good progression. So starting slowly and then building up from there. not trying to go crazy with the numbers or know what the numbers I did in the back in the day. So yeah, just taking it slowly and just making sure I do the push-ups correctly, and I just start getting again the movement done, the muscles used to do the motion, getting tired and yeah. So normally the push-up width I recommend is like shoulders width, so pretty much a hand just slightly off your shoulders, so larger than your shoulders. And then in terms of hands position, like you don't want to go too wide like this, because otherwise, as you can see, your elbows are gonna flare out, and that already it's not as good position with the shoulders, especially if you don't have a good flexibility on your chest or if you don't keep a good posture. So it's always best to kind of rotate your hands more like your thumbs are, your index fingers, are like looking upwards, say like this position. So you can see your hands are actually slightly rotated outwards. So not like this, but like this. And this also keeps your elbows closer to your body. Not really that close, right? But it's closer. And therefore you can already set yourself in a better position. So that's why I normally recommend this. And yeah, so let's start with 10. Let's see how it goes. And then I'm gonna try to do like multiple sets. And yeah, that's just it. So remember, always when you start with the arms completely extended, in this position. And then when you go down, you don't want to go down like this. So with your elbows flaring out and with your face going towards your hands, right? That's not what you want to have. What you're gonna do, you wanna do it as if you're actually, when you're going down, you're actually also moving a little bit forward. So you're doing this motion, all right, forward as you're going down, and you have to bring your hands towards your chest. So that's the idea, bringing your hands towards your chest. So it's not your face towards your chest, towards your hands, but it is your chest towards your hands, and that's the goal. And always keeping the chest open, not letting it cave in as you're going down, right, like this. So you don't want to do push-ups like this, right, but instead you want to keep your chest open as if you are trying to rip apart your shirt, this motion, and that's the bottom position. So that's what you want to keep. It's a lot harder than doing it, normally we're even thinking about like doing push-ups, but it's much better. So yeah, let's start off with 10. Let's see, like this. I have all my body. I've been training, in these months. So I've been doing some physical activity. It's not like I've stopped entirely doing anything. But I definitely feel like my body, kind of heavy, or kind of, needing to get back in shape. So yeah. Sorry also for the camera. I don't really know these new phones, these auto light stuff on the camera, and therefore they keep, giving more light or less light depending on like how you move. It's just weird. So yeah. I see a comment. Sorry, I can't read it right now, but yeah, thank you for joining in. Maybe I'm gonna read them afterwards. So let's do some more. Yeah, I'm too close here to my bed. Okay, that's better. All right. Steady, easy, nothing too complicated. Let's see if I could read. I don't know, I think it's here, right? Zublamis. Hi, welcome. You're cool? Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I have some videos about, working out but they are very old, like it's more than 1 year old, something like that. I mean, I've been working out, as I said before. It's not like I've stopped entirely working out, but I have, I started working, so I started, working out sometimes in different hours, different timings, and also I've been, uploading other type of content on the channel. So mostly like stuff that I record from a computer or from the phone itself, but not like live streams. And therefore, I've been training but not really recording myself. And as I said before, like these issues I had on my arm, my shoulder, that kind of stopped me from doing, especially like pull-ups, push-ups, and dips. That are the most important or like most basic calisthenics exercises. So yeah, that's just pretty bad. But thankfully, I've been getting back in shape, rehabilitating myself, and now it's better. And therefore, I wanted to start doing again some videos or maybe some content about that. And yeah, just starting with push-ups, as I said before, one of the most basics exercises you can do. Yeah. So let's go with 10 more, right? All right, 10. So yeah, as I said before, I don't really care at the moment about like insane numbers or going very quickly through the reps or having a very high volume. I don't care about that, to be honest. I just wanted to get back into the feeling of getting tired, doing push-ups correctly, especially with a good posture, and just improving from there. Especially push-ups. I don't know why, but like even back in the day, yeah, I've been doing like lately a lot more like dips or dip exercises than actually push-ups. So yeah, maybe that's also a reason why I've been having some issues. But yeah, I'm also getting older, so like if I remember, I started doing the first videos on like working out and all that stuff in like, I don't know, 2018, 2019. That's already like 6 years ago, which is not really that much time ago, but time passes on. So that's also something. Alright. I think I did 10, I don't know. So right now I'm going at 40. It's enough, it's fine. I might do like 50 again, same position, then maybe I'm going to do some wider grip. Maybe I'm gonna mix it up. I'm not really that much tired, to be honest. It's just I wanted to take it slow. And again, this live stream is not gonna really be that long. I just wanted to show you around like 150 push-ups, stuff like that. Not really that much, but just going back to the basics. Alright, let's do one more set like this with this grip, and then let's mix it up. Always, keeping a good posture, extend the arms entirely. And yeah, it's mostly like going back to YouTube, uploading fitness content on YouTube. that is what I've been neglecting mostly. Um, because yeah, I've been doing actually a ton of it is for the legs. I've been working on my legs quite a lot more because of the issues on my upper body. I've been, maybe rehabilitating more my upper body, but I've been really strengthening more my lower body. Even though still, sometimes I got this knee right here in the left, which I don't really know why. I might have this, like I need to, I don't know, it looks like kind of a chondropathy, like a femoral chondropathy on the kneecap. I don't know why, to be honest. I don't understand why. Maybe it's just my anatomy. Maybe I'm just prone of having these issues, maybe for my ligaments, maybe for my anatomical constitution, I don't know, but no, it's just very painful when you know like how to treat pain or how to do movements correctly so that you can actually strengthen your tendons, your body, you can do movements correctly, and you're actually doing that as you're working out and still you have pain or still you have issues. That's just super painful and annoying. But it is what it is, As the Bible says, this is a body of death that we have right now. So I have a body that is corrupt in a sense, that's growing older, that is getting weary over time, and there's nothing I can do about that, Eventually this body is going to decay, it's going to get better, get worse, and eventually, I'm going to die. That's just the nature of this, life. So no matter how well you treat yourself, no matter how healthy you are, no matter how many exercises you do, how good your diet is, or even if you live a perfect, healthy life, your body's still going to deteriorate, it's still going to decay, and it's still going to die. So that's the reality of this life. But the hope is that in Christ we are living for a new life. So there is a new life that awaits for us, a new body, a perfect body that will not wear out, that will not be corrupt, that will not be imperfect, but it's going to last forever, it's going to be perfect, no pain, no issues, nothing. Imagine how wonderful that is going to be. And that's the promise that God has for us, for all those who put the trust in Christ. That's the hope, that's the promise of our redempted bodies. So that's what I'm waiting for already, even though I'm not really that old, but I'm really looking forward to that moment when there will be no more sufferings, no more pain, no more problems, no more tears, no more sin overall, So that's gonna be wonderful. But in the moment, I'm here. God has a plan for me. God has a purpose for my life. So I wanna honor God. I wanna live my life for Him. In bringing this hope, this message of hope, this message of salvation and forgiveness to others, and in accomplishing whatever the good works that God has prepared for me, walk into them, and when my time comes, when God calls me home, I will be ready. Okay, let's go. So I'm gonna go with a slightly larger grip now, like this. This should be fine. So with a larger grip, of course, it's normal that your elbows are gonna widen up a little bit. Just don't flare them too much. Just remember about that. Alright. So yeah, that's 10. And let's do like 40 more like this. Ooh. So yeah, I think I'm gonna upload a video about this topic of like the certainty of death and what the Bible tells to us, teaches us about death, about our next life in a sense. So can we trust the Bible about that? No, that there is another life waiting for us and like an eternal life, and wherever we spend it, so either with God, so all the blessings that come from being with Christ, united with this standard, of goodness, of love, of peace, of joy, or away from God. So an eternity, but not with God, and therefore that means no goodness, no joy, no love, no peace, no joy, and this, so that's what the Bible talks about. That is it's hell, the lake of fire, and the destination, it's fixed. So if you believe in Christ, it's guaranteed that you're gonna go into the presence of God. So you're gonna enjoy the blessings of being with Him. If you reject Him, then you're gonna spend your eternity away from God. God will not force anyone into heaven against their will, because He's a loving God. So He will respect our choice. He will respect what we choose to do. And therefore, if we have chosen to obey to Him, to submit to Him, to receive His love, and to accept His love and His forgiveness and His salvation to us, then that's what it promises to us. If we don't, then He clearly tells us, look, if you're not accepting a gift of salvation, of eternal life, then this is what happens. This is the destiny, and be careful. So, like, choose life, choose my gift. Choose to be on my side, because there are blessings, there are good things coming from that. Don't choose the other side. But eventually, it's our choice. So exactly as nowadays, people know perfectly well that, for example, like smoking is bad, or that smoking is bad for their health, but they do it anyway. So they have the knowledge of the consequences of smoking, but they choose, in a sense, to ignore those consequences and to just enjoy the pleasure that they take from smoking, either it be relaxing or calming themselves or a soothing sensation or whatever it might be. So yeah, people choose for the worst, or choose the worst part, even though they know perfectly well the consequences constantly. So we have tons of examples around us. So again, it's the same regarding God. Okay. All right, good. Oh. So yeah. I've been engaging lately with lots of people, online, on YouTube, on other social media platforms, and engaging with some comments, some exchanges, and mostly, atheists or people that are like against Christianity. And many oftentimes, a very common question is exactly that one, why would a loving God send people to hell or create human beings knowing that they will sin against Him, they will reject Him, and therefore that they will be going to hell? Is it really loving from God to do that? And the argument is that it is not, that they somehow can measure or can judge God's omniscience and God's actions, and as if it would have been better for those people that will reject God, that God knew already that they will reject Him, to just not be created at all, right? And again, I think that's the argument kind of misses, first of all, what Christianity teaches, because God doesn't send anyone to hell. We send ourselves to hell, so we choose to go to hell. It's not like God is forcing us to go there or is making us go there. That's not what the Bible teaches. And at the same time, again, God is love, because God allows us, even to those who are going to reject Him, to enjoy the wonderfulness or the blessing of life, of living, of enjoying, family, enjoying the good things of life, like love, like relationships, right? And so why would God deny those things just because some people would reject him? It just makes no sense. And again, God is not forcing anyone to do one thing or the other. God is just he just lays out the consequences because he's the creator. You know, he's the one that has laid out the rules. He's the one that has created us. So he let us know that we can live our life in whatever way we want, but that there are consequences, and that our choices, you know, have consequences. And yeah, unfortunately, in this culture, you know, people are kind of becoming like allergic to accountability and to responsibility. Like people seem to don't want any accountability. Like they wanna be able to do whatever they want, but they don't wanna have any consequences for those actions that they do, for those behaviors that they have. And in my opinion, like it's just completely nonsense because that's not how reality works. Yeah. So yeah, like if you steal and you're caught, you're gonna end up going to, I don't know, you're gonna have to pay a fine or you're gonna have to go through a process, you know, you're gonna be prosecuted. You may end up like having to maybe go to hell, to jail. So if we know that in the real world, every action, every decision has a consequence, either a positive, a good consequence, or a negative, a bad consequence. If this happens all day long in our lives, right, then why do we think that somehow this doesn't apply to God, or this doesn't apply to our eternity, or to what God says about us? And in my opinion, it just makes no sense. And yeah, people nowadays are really, really sometimes like delusional, right? They seem to think that they can shape reality with their feelings, or that whatever they think is true, and therefore that their opinions are just absolute, and that everyone has to accept them, everyone has to respect them, they are valid, and yeah, they are their own standard. And in my opinion, it's just nonsense, because then when you call them accountable for those choices that they made or for those behaviors, then they don't want any accountability, right? They refuse to take accountability. They want to have the freedom or the rewards, but they don't want to have the accountability. And again, there is no freedom, there is no choice without accountability, without responsibility. It's just impossible, because it's a scientific principle. For every action, there is a reaction. So, like if you push something, right? There is like your action, your force is generating something that is causing then something else, and this always happens. Like you always have a counter reaction to the motion or to the force you're applying, always. So this applies even in metaphysics, even in behavioral aspects, psychological aspects, and society and choices overall. Oof. Oh yeah. I think I've done 5 sets already of the wide ones, and yeah, I don't really feel that much tired because I've been talking quite much. So I've been resting quite a lot. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna do some elevated push-ups. That sounds pretty good. And that's gonna be the last 50 for today. I hope you guys can see. I should be able to see. I'm gonna do them like right here, I think. Right here. Alright. Alright. And I also wanted to do some videos about like as well issues like abortion, what are the problems or the issues with abortion, with being pro-abortion, with the abortion arguments. Um, from a scientific point of view, so what science says about like human life, when human life starts, what classifies, what is the definition of a human being. So when does a human being starts to live, and like just merely from a scientific point of view, and then we're going to take a look at some moral and ethical arguments, both from the pro-abortion and then how to kind of debunk them, because again, I don't think that abortion is in any way, like it should be, or at least a legal right, because there is no legal right to murder, especially to murder an innocent person without any justification, So, and that's exactly what abortion is. It's a killing of an innocent human being when they were most vulnerable, when they were defenseless, and it's just the act of killing that innocent human being, and that should never be condoned. There should be no justification for abortion, no, for this, other than some exceptions, like the mother risking to die or having like a serious problem that could risk both the death of the child, and of the mother. Those should be the only like exceptions, because there is an actual medical emergency going on. But other than that, those very small cases, which are, by the way, the vast, like less than 0.00%, 1% of abortions are due to this problem, like a health risk of the mother. The vast majority of abortions are due to other things, which in my view are not justified means to kill an innocent human being. So again, I might do something about that, some video about abortion, but I think it's a pretty actual and important issue to discuss. And I've seen many videos as well about like abortion, people talking about what about the people, the women that suffer rape, what about incest, what about all these very exceptional rules and things happen to women that abort. The vast majority of women that abort, like more than 95% of women that abort for personal reasons, such as not wanting the child, or wanting to keep their career, or viewing the child as something that is they don't want, or maybe they don't have the ways to support the child. Maybe they live in a poor family or whatever, and therefore they don't want the child, and therefore they abort for that reason, because they just don't want the child. It's not like there is an actual emergency case, risk of health, risk of death, but it's just they don't want the child. And again, like not wanting the child for whatever reason it might be, maybe you wouldn't know how to raise it, or maybe you're a single mother, or maybe I don't know, you have issues in your family, or I don't know, whatever environment you might be. Again, it's not a justification for killing an innocent human being. And again, like if you engage with, which is most of the cases of abortion, engaging in consensual sexual relationships, and so it's not like rape, incest, stuff like that. So it's a consensual sexual relationship that you're having, and if you get pregnant from the relationship, from the sexual intercourse, even though you use the protections, whatever, it might be, then again, there is no justification for terminating that pregnancy, for killing that child, whatever it might be, because you engage already in the activity, which is sex, that naturally produces a child. Like the natural consequence, in the sense of having sex, is creating a new life. Now, that's a natural thing. It's not like a side effect. It's not like pregnancy is a side effect of sex. But like the act of sex, other than like having pleasure, connecting the two people together, becoming one flesh, and getting to know the other person more, as the Bible says, but it's also the act in creating a new life. So it's a natural consequence of having sex. So like you want to have sex, but at the same time, you're not willing to take the accountability of the more natural consequence of sex, and that is creating a new life. That seems kind of delusional, right? Because you can't separate the two. You can't have sex and at the same time not having the natural consequence of having sex, and that is a pregnancy. You can't have that. It's the whole package together. It's like you would like to consume drugs, but at the same time not having the negative effects or the addictional effects of drugs. You can't, right? You can choose when you decide to get drugs or to whatever, have sex. You get the whole package. So you're willing. If you are engaged in sex, that means that you're willing to take the responsibility in case a pregnancy might occur. It's not like you're saying, well, if I get pregnant, whatever, I can abort. Because that already, you're viewing, you're separating the two, and that can't be, because of the fact that you're just dehumanizing the child, the life that's created. You're dehumanizing it, and you're justifying your pleasure or your life, or whatever you want to have your life, than the child, than the life of a human being. And that's in my case something that like it goes against the rights of human beings. All right. So now we're in all these last times we were all talking about rights. Yeah, my rights, legal rights, human rights, equality rights, but no one is talking about the rights of the fetus, the rights of the human being in the embryo stage. Because you see, there is no difference. Like, you, as an adult, are the exact same embryo that you were when you were inside your mother's womb. It's the same, isn't it? It's not like you are different or you're something else. You're still you, When you're conceived, that's you. That's you, though, in the earliest stages of your life. Exactly as a kid is different from an old person, right? They're still human beings. It's just two different stages of development. Do you see the idea? So, like a kid compared to an embryo, again, is still the same human being. It's just two different stages of development. So that thing that you are killing, or that you're calling clump of cells, that you're trying to dehumanize, or say, no, that's not a human being, so that's why I'm justified in killing it, because that's not a human, right? That's wrong. That's the evil part of abortion. That in order to many women are actually not even informed of what abortion is. They genuinely think that it's something that it's good, or that thing that they have inside is not really a human being, it's something else. But again, it's not the case. It's a human being already. It's just in a different developmental stage than a newborn, or than a kid, or than an adult, or than a old person. It's still the same human being. It's the same DNA. It's the same coding, of cells, of reproduction, of system. It's the same. It's just in a different developmental stage. So again, I think it would be hugely moral by all people to consider that you can kill an innocent kid already, like 5, 6, 7 years old. You could kill a child, you could murder a child if you have a justified reason, like, this kid is, growing up in a very bad family, he may have very bad issues in his life, so it's better to kill the child than to letting it grow up, and then maybe grow up in a society when it's going to become like a drug addict, or it's going to have issues, it's going to be going to jail, whatever, right? It's better to kill the kid than to let it live. Like, that would be nonsense, and that would be entirely like not approved by any Western society, right? And civil law. So again, I think that's what we should be doing with abortion. That is what we should be doing with abortion, unfortunately. That doesn't mean that people will not, or no, that women will not try to abort by themselves, or that it's gonna stop. But at least it's not something like legal, right? It's something that we are, as a society, we have been able to recognize as a great evil, and therefore something that shouldn't be encouraged or shouldn't be legalized. Exactly as like slavery, Slavery for a very long time was legalized, like it was legal, it was good in a sense. But we all know that just because something is legal, that doesn't mean that it's right or that it's morally right. And again, it's the same with abortion. So unfortunately, until like the issue of humanhood, the fact that what defines a human being, it's clear and it's accepted, I think the issue of abortion is going to still keep going, because if you're just classifying that embryo as not a human being, so as long as you do that, then there is no speech, there is no way to confront abortion, because if that thing is not unhuman, then of course you can kill it. Exactly as we human beings, we kill animals to eat them for food, or for hunting, for whatever reason it might be. If it's not something as valuable as a human being, then he has no rights in a sense. So yeah, I think that's the biggest lie about abortion, about the embryo. The embryo is just you in a different developmental stage. Once people will start understanding this, I think the issue is going to be solved pretty quickly. As it was for slavery, that slaves are actually human beings. So they're worth, they have dignity, they have value, objective value, because they're created in the image of God. That's what makes human beings, objectively worth and to have objective value. I think that was 10. And yeah, I was listening to I think it was like a YouTuber or someone that was trying to present the argument, well, human beings are not actually objectively, they don't have objective worth and value, human beings have the value that society or cultural revolution has applied to them. And they was trying to show that to kind of undermine the argument that if human beings do have objective value and meaning, then that supports the argument for God's existence. Because unless God exists, then there is not such a thing as an objective worth or value. And and I remember that he was trying to argue that it's culture, it's society, it's the way in which we have evolved. So the behaviors that kept us alive, or that kept us, were the genes that were then put into the offspring. So that's why human beings started having these issues. Okay, I shouldn't be murdering people because of the fact that otherwise this decreases my chances of survival. And so I know this weird idea about like morality coming from evolution, coming from like societal behaviors, which was just completely garbage. Because if you think that human beings are just more evolved animals, then why do not animals have the same behavior, right? And again, there is no actual objective justification for morality. And again, there is no objective value for human beings. Like human beings have no more value than a rock or than a plant, because we're just all products of chance. It's just chance that we're here, that there were the conditions for human life to flourish or to be born, to be created, whatever. And so again, there is no more value in human beings actually surviving and living than human beings dying and not living, or not even existing. There's no difference, because how you can say that it's better for human beings to flourish or to be alive than to be extinct and to die? So what is the standard? What is the justification for saying such a thing? No, there is not, because if everything is just a product of chance and of physical molecules, then there is no goal, there is no purpose in anything, and therefore everything is just meaningless. So human beings existing is meaningless. So again, there is no objective value, no objective worth to human beings. But of course, this goes against our experience, because we know that we do have value, or we give value, or that we give meaning. And unless God exists, this justification couldn't be there. So that's why God is it's needed for objective value and the meaning to be there. Yeah, here we go. I think that should be it for today. And again, because God is the one that gives value, because He has created us with a purpose. We are created in His image. That's why we are valuable. That's why we have worth. You know, we're not cosmic accidents. We're different than animals. We're different than plants, than rocks. So that's why we can use God as a justification for human beings having objective worth. Otherwise, it's just relativist. You know, it's just a product of chance. You don't have any justification. And again, the actual arguments using, like, for example, yeah, human beings should flourish, human beings should survive, you know, survival of the fittest. All these ideas actually are rooted on the idea that surviving, living is better than dying. But why is that? You know, why is it life better than death? What is the standard to which you're comparing life and death, and you're saying, yeah, it's better to be alive than to be dead? Why? And God becomes the standard to that. So you know, okay, now I know why being alive is better than being dead, because God is the one that gives life. God is the standard to which you know that, for example, flourishing is better than dying, because He's giving the standard, you know, the standard of goodness, the standard of morality, the standard of ethics. Of course, there is a lot more that can be said, can be extrapolated, but it's just the general arguments. But yeah, that was the workout for today. Thank you guys for joining in. And yeah, let me know if you have some comments about anything. But I will be uploading, I think, tomorrow, probably the video that I was talking about earlier. And yeah, again, thanks for watching. God bless you, and see you. Bye bye.